Welcome to Cook 30. I'm Jeremy Dixon from the Revive Cafes in Auckland, New Zealand, and I also wrote the Revive Cafe cookbooks. And today I'm going to share with you some delicious cafe meals that you can cook in your own home. Cook 30 food is all about using whole food, plant-based ingredients. We're going to use great protein sources like beans, lentils and nuts. Whole grains like brown rice, quinoa and oats. We're going to be using fresh fruit and vegetables and tying it all together with international flavours and fresh herbs and spices. And the best part about Cook 30 food is you do not have to spend hours slaving away in the kitchen. I'm going to show you how you can make a delicious meal for your family in the next 30 minutes, and they will love it. On the menu today we have a Dahlatoullie served on brown rice. We're also going to have a chunky Greek salad and a green pea and sesame mingle. And to finish it off, an amazing delicious dessert, Carob better than ice cream. Before you start cooking in a very short time, you want to make sure you're really well prepared. Fast meals do not happen by accident. We've got a clear workspace here. We've got pots on the stove, hot and ready to go. The jug is full of boiling water and already boiled. And also we have fresh fruit and vegetables and our pantry stocked with all the foods we're going to need. Now, first job today is to get the brown rice on. And brown rice is a great healthy alternative to white rice. It's full of a lot more fibre and vitamins and minerals. And the recipe for brown rice, a lot of people are scared of cooking brown rice because it always turns out hard or takes too long. But follow this formula and it will work every single time. So the recipe is we want 2 cups of brown rice to a pot, and then we want 4 cups of boiling water. It can be cold water, but this just speeds up the process. So the ratio is 2 to 1. 2 cups, another 2 cups equals 4 cups. So I'm just going to turn that up on high. Now, a few rules in cooking brown rice. Number 1 is you want the lid on. We're using the absorption method, so we want the water to be absorbed into the rice, not steaming out the top of the pan. And the second rule is do not stir. You want little steam vents to happen in the rice that will cook it properly, so if you stir it you're going to disturb that, so don't stir it. So when that comes to boil, we'll generally cook it for around about 20 to 25 minutes and we'll turn it down so it's just simmering. So the rice is on. Okay, we're going to need some lentils for our Dahalatoullie. And a Dahlatoullie is kind of a cross between a dal and a ratatouille. So it's kind of a combined dish. So red lentils are an amazing ingredient to have. Make sure you have them in your pantry. They cook in about 10 to 15 minutes, highly nutritious, full of protein. They've got a really nice flavour. And the recipe for these is basically we want to use 1 cup of lentils and we want 3 cups of water. And it's 2 cups and not quite enough. We'll just finish it off with some water from the tap. So it's 3 cups of water to 1 cup of lentils. And we're not going to put the lid on, we're going to let that cook away slowly. Now lentils do have a habit of wanting to stick on the bottom, so you've kind of got to keep a little bit of an eye on them to make sure they don't burn. So it's 2 good jobs underway, the brown rice and the lentils, and our meal is well underway. So let's start on the ratatouille side of the Dahlatoullie. Let's get some ingredients from the fridge. Okay, the first thing we want to get underway is probably a red onion. So we're just going to remove the skin from this. And by using a red onion, we're going to add lots of colour. It's going to be a really colourful dish. So remove all the skin bits, which is the most complicated part of getting an onion prepared. So I'm just going to, remove more. We're going to dice it to nice big chunks, probably about 1 inch, 2 centimetres. Start with about 2 tablespoons of oil in the pan and get that underway. Love that sizzling sound. I'm going to add some garlic. So probably three nice cloves of garlic. A quick way of doing garlic, just put the garlic into the press, skin and all, and squeeze it through. How's that? Okay, eggplant. Now this is a crucial ingredient, and this just goes lovely, soft and beautiful. So it's a good addition to this dish. So again, we're just going to cube it up. The eggplant can take a while to cook. So to make sure we don't slow the dish down, we're going to make sure we cut it reasonably small. So I've still got chunks, but they're not massive chunks. So you probably want to stick to around about 1 centimetre, ½ inch, so it cooks properly in the time that we've got. So again, just try and economise on your cuts, line up everything, and that way you save a lot of time when you're cutting. Now we could have put the dal in with the vegetables, but you run the risk that one of them is going to be undercooked. So by cooking everything in different dishes, you can cook the dal perfectly so it's nice and soft, and you make sure the vegetables are cooked properly and not overcooked. Often when you try to cook too many ingredients together, one becomes undercooked and it just kind of ruins the whole dish. So it's worth the extra effort just getting an extra pot going for the dal. Turn it up nice and high. Just going to start cooking. Okay, we're going to add some mushrooms. Got a nice stack of mushrooms here. Just going to wash them. And we're just going to halve these. Just run a knife through them. If they're small mushrooms, you can probably get away with using whole mushrooms, or extra big ones, just chop them up. But you kind of want all your pieces in this to be approximately the same size. So we probably want around about 100 grams of mushrooms. And the thing with mushrooms and the eggplant is these all shrink down significantly. That's probably around about 100 grams. Put them in there, get them underway. Give it a good stir around. But yes, there's more ingredients. I'm going to add a zucchini or a courgette, depending on what country you come from. Just going to cube it just into similar size cubes, and adding another colour. Red pepper or capsicum. Take the seeds out, and we're just going to again just roughly cube it. So we're not looking for little pieces, we're looking for lovely big chunky bits, and these will cook down into a nice size and become a really nice texture that's going to mingle well with the creaminess of the dal. There's quite a bit in there, isn't it? So that will slowly reduce down, especially with the mushrooms and the onions. Looking nice and colourful. Also going to add some celery, just a stalk of celery. So these are kind of all your traditional ratatouille ingredients. And a bit of ginger, so we're going to add 2 tablespoons of ginger. 1, 2. This is just pureed ginger. You can use fresh ginger that you chop up really fine if you want, but this is a really great time-saving ingredient. So that should be most of the ingredients. I really love just firing lots of colours into a dish and just watching it cook together. So we've got to keep an eye on that. We don't want it to burn. Put on a reasonably high heat. We'll keep stirring it so all those flavours will start to mingle together. So that's well underway. Okay, chunky Greek salad is one of my favourite salads to make. It's just full of such fresh flavours and lots of chunky vegetables. So platter is always a good way to serve a salad. I kind of like either platter or a wooden bowl, but we'll use a nice big white platter. We're going to start off with some baby spinach. Got a reasonably big box here, we're not going to use all this. So as you can see, that's just a lovely, just baby spinach basically. You can find that at your supermarket. It's looking a little bit dry. We're just going to put a little bit of water in it just to give a little bit of life, and just kind of see, it just breathes a little bit of life into the salad with just a little spot of water. So don't be scared to add a little bit. We'll just start with a bed of the baby spinach. And we've got some lovely cherry tomatoes. You can use whole tomatoes and cube them, but there's just amazing cherry tomatoes around at the moment. And I'm just going to throw these on whole, just like that. Not going to chop these ones up. You can if you want to. Look at that. Next good ingredient for a Greek salad is a little bit of red onion. Now we don't want to be breathing onion fumes over everyone for the rest of the day, so we want to go reasonably cautious. So we're just going to grab just a few little cubes. Just to add a little bit of colour and just a little bit of bite. So reasonably small pieces. Just about that much. Just to help it along a bit. And I've got a orange pepper, maybe half an orange pepper. And just adding a little bit of extra colour. This probably technically doesn't belong in a Greek salad, and I probably get thrown out of a Greek kitchen, but if in doubt, add some colour. Slightly different shade of orange to the tomatoes. And of course, a Greek salad would not be a Greek salad without some olives. So use black olives, or these are Kalamata olives, which have an incredible flavour. And I prefer to get olives that have the stones taken out of them. Your olive purist would always tell you that the best olives will always have a stone in them, but I'd rather just sacrifice a little bit of flavour and not have to worry about chomping down on an olive stone in the middle of my meal. So that is pretty much the chunky Greek salad. So that's ready to go, except for the dressing. So just before we're about to serve, I'll squeeze some lemon juice and a bit of a swig of olive oil over it, and then it'll be ready to go. If we do that now, the salad will kind of start aging, so we want to make sure it's as fresh as possible when we serve it. If you've just joined us on Cook 30, we are cooking a delicious meal in just 30 minutes. We're starting with the Dahlatoullie, which is a cross between a dal and a ratatouille. We're going to be serving this with brown rice and a chunky Greek salad. We also have a green pea mingle, and to finish, a wonderful dessert, carob better than ice cream. We're making fantastic progress. The Dahlatoullie is coming along well. These vegetables are slowly cooking, reducing down. We'll just give everything a nice big stir through. Look at that. Smelling amazing. That ginger's coming through. As you can see, the mushrooms are getting smaller. So we'll just keep turning that, keep it on a nice high heat, making sure it doesn't burn. The lentils, look at those, they're nearly done. There's still a little bit of water in there, so we'll keep cooking them for a bit more. The rice is happily cooking, so we're well underway. And also, yeah, the Greek salad is nearly finished. Let's do the green pea mingle. So from the freezer, we're going to get some frozen peas. This is a very simple dish. I've even had people tell me how their children who would not normally eat peas or green things will actually eat this dish. So we're going to start with just a touch of oil in this pan, which is just warm. Then we're going to put in 2 cups of peas, about 2 cups. Simple ingredient to use. Put the peas back in the freezer so they don't defrost. We're going to add some garlic. 2 nice cloves of garlic into the garlic press and squeeze it through. Here we go. We're going to put in a sprinkling of salt. Just give that a bit of a mix around. I'll just turn up the heat a bit. This is a really simple green thing that you can have. Look at that. We're also going to add some kale, just to give it a bit of interest. You could use Swiss chard or any kind of even baby spinach or spinach, but just something green just to give it a little bit of texture and interest. So we're going to slice this really thinly. And just put this in there, and it's just going to wilt down a little bit and just become part of this lovely mingle. So we probably want about 2 to 3 chopped cups. And we'll just let that just happily mingle around in that pan with the garlic and the oil and the salt. And in a couple of minutes it'll reduce down. It'll be a really nice, lovely dish. So I might put this in. Can't waste this. Never have too much kale or greens. We'll just keep an eye on that. So it's well underway. And to finish this, all we do is just put it on a platter or a bowl and add toasted sesame seeds. Very, very simple. Okay, now it's time to make the beautiful dessert, the carob better than ice cream. So you're going to need a food processor for this. This won't work with a blender because you need to have a nice thick consistency. And we're going to go to the freezer and get some bananas. And we've pre-frozen some bananas in a plastic container. When you ever have any bananas that are going spotty or old, chop them up and put them into a container like this. Brilliant. So we're just going to put this in. We've got about 3 bananas in here. They normally stick together, so you need to separate them. I'm just going to put all these lovely banana sticks, all nice and frozen. Make sure you separate them, makes it easier on the blender or the food processor. So 3 bananas, then we're going to put in 3 tablespoons of carob powder, and carob is like a really healthy version of cocoa. So we put 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of honey. The honey required maybe more or less depending on your bananas. If you freeze your bananas when they're nice and ripe, they'll be sweet, they may not need any honey, and if they're not sweet you may need more honey. So we're just going to put it in there and start it off. While it's going, I'm going to stir this. This ratatouille is coming along well. Look at that, everything's reducing down, cooking beautifully. Give this guy a bit of a flick over. Look at that, you can see the kale getting nice and dark green. It's kind of shrinking down a little bit. And the lentils, there's pretty much no water left, so I'm going to turn those lentils off. And the rice, I think that's probably got a few more minutes as well. Okay, what's happening over here? Okay, it's a little bit, as you can see, it's quite gluggy still. But that's okay. Just give it a bit of a pat down and give it another chance to blend. And eventually that banana will just start slowly melting. We don't want it to melt too much and become kind of an ice cream consistency. So it's quite fragile. You may need to do this a few times. I'm going to add a little bit of water, and that can sometimes help it along a bit as well. You don't add too much because you want it to retain the nice smooth ice cream texture. If you add too much, it can become a little bit liquid. As you can see, it will just start turning. Have a little bit of patience, we'll get there eventually. Let's give this guy a little bit of a stir. Nearly there, so you can see some of it is starting to become like ice cream. here it goes. I think it's turning now. It's getting there. It's nearly there. There's a big lump in there still. I think it's done. Look at that. Look at this. Beautiful, silky ice cream texture. Isn't that just beautiful? It's worth the wait. So we're going to put it into this bowl here. We're not going to serve it up straight away because it is going to melt. So we're going to put it in this bowl here. And we're going to put it in the freezer. Now this will not keep indefinitely in the freezer. It will just turn to a block of ice. But for the next 5 or 10 minutes before we serve our meal, it'll just keep it cool and stop it from melting. And then we'll just plate it up into some nice cups before we do. So straight into the freezer. These vegetables are looking beautiful. Just look at that. You know those are going to taste good. So let's add the lentils. Put them in there. Look how quickly they go soft. One of my most favourite protein sources. We're also going to add some salt. A teaspoon of salt. And 2 tablespoons of honey, just a bit of extra sweetener, and some crushed tomatoes. So use the ones that are kind of already mixed up and nice and evenly crushed. If you do have whole tomatoes or the little chunks in water, make sure you blend them up. And we're just going to blend this up. This is the most exciting part of the meal is just when the ingredients come together and you stir everything in. It just starts looking so wonderful. We'll turn it up a little bit. Look at that. Stir, stir, stir. So you got those beautiful Mediterranean ratatouille vegetables and the nice kind of meaty taste of the lentils and the dal. Just delicious. So that's that pretty much ready to go. We're just going to let it warm up for a bit before we garnish it. Now this is ready. They don't need overly cooked, so we've got the beautiful kale and the peas there. Just a great combination. A bit of garlic, oil and salt. And to finish those off, we're just going to do a little drizzle of honey. And some sesame seeds, toasted sesame seeds. We'll just finish these off well. You can toast your own, or you can buy them pre-toasted as well. It's just a lovely little green dish to have. Okay, I think that's warmed through. This doesn't need cooked, just needs warming. So we'll turn that off and we'll put some cilantro on it, just for a good garnish. This is how I keep my herbs in the fridge. Wrap them up in a paper towel and wet them, and they can last for up to a week in the fridge. Really, really good way of storing your herbs. So they're basically kept nice and cool, nice and moist, and they don't dry out. Got some nice, big, there we go, with that. Just the green just makes it look beautiful. The Greek salad, we better finish that. Oh no, I forgot the cucumber. You cannot have a Greek salad without a cucumber. So grab a cucumber, preferably one that you can eat the skin with. And we're just going to chop up around about half. And it's keeping with the big chunky theme. We're going to just throw these chunks of cucumber through the salad. Here we go, just kind of mingle it all through. Make sure you bring some of the yummy colourful bits to the top. They generally, as by default, sink down to the bottom. Just a lug of virgin olive oil. Just just a little bit. And we'll just chop a lemon and a squeeze of lemon juice through my fingers as well. So those three are finished. And the rice, better get some rice as well. So we're just going to pour some of this brown rice. As you can see, there's no water left. You can see all those beautiful steam holes there that have been used to cook the rice. And we'll put that in there. Spoon it in. Now always cook more rice than you need, and the rest can go into the fridge to be used tomorrow for a stir fry. I think I'll just put some spring onions or scallions on top as a garnish. Just like that. There we go. All I need to do now is just plate up that dessert and we're ready to hit the table. That's how you make a delicious healthy meal for your family in just 30 minutes. The amazing Dahlatoullie, a cross between a dal and a ratatouille. Chunky Greek salad, brown rice, and the lovely green pea mingle. And of course for dessert, the carob, better than ice cream. A healthy, delicious meal. Thank you for joining me today on Cook 30. I hope you've learned some new skills and some new ingredients that you can use in your kitchen. And I look forward to seeing you next time.